Okay, all right, so we are live across everything here. So let us pay homage to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo
tassa
bhagavato
bhagavato
arahato
arahato
samma
samma sambuddhassa.
sambuddhassa. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. So good morning to all of you on the east side of the world. Good afternoon to the evening here to everyone in the United States. We are at, I don't even know the name of the cemetery, but it's really nice. And unfortunately, we can't show you around much because it's on tripods. We're here visiting my best friend Jacob Hall. His plaque is on the ground right directly in front where I am showing all of you. I'll take a picture and post it, publish it across all platforms. One day I will have a robot that extend all of its arms to hold my phones for me. Mind you, there's 4 phones right now, and the amount of struggles that we had to erect the phones to stay exactly where it's at. Amazing. At the time of this talk, we've been speaking about the suspension of life-saving programs, cognitive behavioral therapy programs, and over the past couple of days, a few, less than 5 people, have made donations. So, obviously, I don't think I'm gonna get the robot anytime soon. Nonetheless, having to do fundraising to keep programs going. We were on our way to the beach to further our practice and studies. However, it's a little hot, and along the way to the beach from 49th Street all the way down to the Madeira Beach area, Jacob's cemetery is here, so I decided as part of Novice Lee's training to stop by the cemetery. And this is what Novice Lee said on the way here. He said what? Anywhere but
Cemetery.
why?
Because when I was younger, I was always creeped out by cemeteries and spirits and ghosts because of all the movies and entertainment and the picture they portrayed. But it's not really much to be scared about unless you know you're doing something wrong
Mm.
to anger the spirits
Mm.
or disrespect them.
Novice Lee is a smart guy. Actually, he's right. Even more scary, well, to the untrained mind and people, is that right in front of us, so Jacob Hall is laying here. Right in front of us are a bunch of beautiful bamboo trees. Beautiful, magnificent. Matter of fact, I want to crawl in there and sit right over there, actually, to meditate. And we may just do that. We may just do that. But when the bamboo trees move back and forth, they make all sorts of creeps and sounds, squeakies, and you hear it, right? Just a little bit of it. If your mind is not still and you don't see the nature of reality, and if you haven't done a life review, and if you have not made peace with enemies or people who have died, sitting in a cemetery and closing your eyes could be one of the most scariest thing a human mind can experience. Indeed. In Vietnam, there were foolish people who didn't know any better, right? Would go into the cemetery and they would actually urinate foolishly. Uh, just just some things you don't do. Urinating in a cemetery is one of them. You don't do that. And growing up, I got to hear stories of people who did these foolish things and how immediately after urinating on, around, or about a statue, they were immediately bitten by a poisonous snake and they had to rush to the hospital right away. We call that instant karma. Whatever it is, wrong place, wrong time, right? We may never know if it's an accidental or if, you just don't do. I told Novice Lee that, yeah, I get that you're afraid of the cemetery, like most people, but this is actually our home as monks. Mind you all, Ajahn Chah's monastery was the mortuary. The mortuary was his monastery, and so as many more monasteries in Thailand and elsewhere in Southeast Asia, the mortuary and cemetery is home to us. So what happens when you make a mortuary home? Well, simple. Every day you get bodies in and out. Buddhist monks in America should indeed, in fact, get their bachelor's degree and get their licensing as funeral directors. It is one way to deepen one's practice, no doubt. And make a living too, by the way. Some changes need to be changed in the Vinayak rules about making a living so that they can keep their monastery going. It's one way to reflect, it's one way to... I'm saying that because my program's dying, so I regret not being a funeral director. That degree could have been put to good use right about now. It deepens my practice as a monk. It furthers my practice as a monk. It brings me closer to enlightenment. And make a couple of $1,000s to keep my programs going and saving suicidal teens. But this is a teaching moment for Novice Lee as he sits and reflects on all these names, date of births, date of deaths, date of birth and date of deaths. Y'all gonna get one, so don't worry. If you ain't dead yet, you will be soon. How soon? I don't know. Death should be seen as the Lord Death holding a knife at your neck at always, waiting to seize you and seize your life. So yeah, I'm not here to like scare people. I'm just here to remind you all of the next hour is not guaranteed. That came from Keith. Keith, who we met down in the St. Pete Pier, who spoke to these young people. Keith is 60 years old. He looks like he's 40. He works out. He's a mental health nurse. I think he's a nurse, maybe a patient care technician. And I just wanted to pick his brain. I said, what's the secret to life? What is the secret to happiness and well-being in life? He says, stress. Got to look at that stress. And live in the moment. And out at the beach is where his moment is. And he says, the next hour is not guaranteed. That's what got me. That's what I recorded and registered in my mind. You know, across the world, the next hour is not guaranteed for a lot of people. It truly isn't. Right now, right? If you sit here right now, right? Just imagine your local hospitals, your local hospice, empath health. The next hour, a lot of animals are going to die. The next hour, a lot of infants are going to die. The next hour, someone in the geriatric department is going to die. The next hour in the VA, the next hour around the world, as war is still happening, someone is getting killed. Someone's heart is going to cease. Someone is just going to die. In the next hour, someone is going to lose their sight. In the next hour, someone is going to stop breathing. No longer awake, aware, conscious, and breathing normally. Something the paramedics want to ask, something that dispatchers want to ask on the phone. Are they aware, alert, conscious, and breathing normally? And it's funny, like, I'm a professional, so when I call in and I tell them, yeah, the patient in front of me is alert, aware, awake, conscious, and breathing normally, they're like, okay, well, we still have to ask these standard questions. And they're like, are they breathing? Yes, Karen, they're breathing normally. It's funny. They all have procedures and protocols. So I just got to go with the flow. You all get my point, huh? The next hour is not guaranteed. So therefore, all of my students who is with me, every hour is crucial and important. We eat, we study, we eat, we don't waste a minute. Reflect. Think about how we can improve our Dhamma, the understanding of the Dhamma, and the practice in Dhamma. I'm very much at peace out here. I have no enemies. I've done so much good in the world, waiting for the day to come, waiting for my hour to come, to go where I need to go, wherever that is. One of the 6 rebirth realms. I don't care where I go. I know that Jacob is in a good place because he was just such a giving person. Now, Jacob's death did it for me. After my grandmother, Jacob was the first. Oh, there goes that. Don't stay still. Stay still. There's the tripods here giving me a hard time. Hold on, you guys give me 1 second. Let me rotate this. It's rotatable. Oh no, there goes the second one. All right, that stays there. That is there and do. Okay. All right. Try means 3. It needs to go back. Too bad his life was cut short at 21 years old. He has so much to offer to the world. Ooh. So much to offer to the world. He was a mechanic. He can fix boats, cars, planes. Imagine that, 21 years old. All these skills, all these talents, yet to be offered to the whole world. One who gave more and took less. He was there when you needed him. He was first one to arrive and the last to leave. All of your standard and typical praise of a good person could be bestowed to Jacob Hall. Good guys do in fact die young. Good guys do in fact die first. So in honor of Jacob Hall, I continue my path. I know that he would want me to do that. He was with me a lot of the times when I was at the monasteries before becoming a monk. We spent a lot of times volunteering at the monastery. Therefore, in my heart, I truly believe that he took favorable rebirth. It's no way Jacob Hall went to hell. No way. How? Unless he has a lot of negative karma, karmic debts stacking behind him. No way. You looked at when he was still alive, he had all of the favorable conditions bestowed at him. He had all the favorable conditions indicative of a demigod in the favorable rebirth realm of a demigods. There's no way Jacob took unfavorable rebirth, unless at the time of death he had desire and clung on to somebody or something. Got something stuck in my eyes, y'all, so. People should come out to the cemetery often and reflect, sit here and write in your journal, somewhere in your collection of journals or diaries. One of them should be titled, "One Day I Will Be Gone," or "After I Die." What do you want your children to know? What do you want the world to know? People who have really big egos, I ask them, well, I'm really skillful when I work with people with big egos. I go, what is it that you want the world to know? Because people always have something to prove. Their skill, their talents, their knowledge. What is it that you want the world to know? You carry yourself every single day. The way you carry yourself and the way that you want the world to know certain things about you. How you dress, the jewelry that is on you, the logo that is on your left side of your shirt. What do you want your kids to know? What do you want the world to know after you die? What is most important, I feel, is how much you've given back. That defines, takes precedence above all. Is how much you've given, because what is there in life that is more important? You came to the world. Let's talk about that, coming to the world, coming to earth, coming to fruition as a human. I think I read something about a burger, right? It takes hundreds of gallons of water in the making of a burger. One burger. So how many thousands and millions of gallons of water does it take to make a human being and to sustain a human's life with all the plastic that we have consumed, is consuming, and will consume in the future? We come and all we know is how to take, do we not? We come and we take so much. We take resources, we take gold, we take silver, palladium, platinum, rhodium. We come and we take natural resources. We take food, we take water, we take shelter. We cut down trees to make chairs that we sit on. We take so much in humanity. So towards the end of one's life, what have you given? Mother Nature gave you life. God gave you life. Buddha gave you life. Whatever, whoever gave you life. What have you given back? I find one of the most beautiful things in the priest ordination that they say, I have given you life, which denotes the Lord Jesus Christ. I have given you life. What have you given to me? And when the parents of the priest dies, and that they stand at the gate of heaven, and they say, Dear Lord, I've given you my son as a priest. I find that one of the most beautifulest thing a human to witness through his senses of his ears, his cognitive mind to understand. What have you given back to the world that you've taken so much? It's a reflective prompt in your journal and diary. I know I've taken a lot. Not only that I've taken a lot, just like everybody else, I also gave judges, police officers a lot of hard times. Looking for me, knocking on my parents' doors. No different than Novice Lee here. The world gave us life. What have we given back to the world? What did Chi Dao give back to the world? What did Novice Lee given back to the world? We offer the world our life. We offer the world our mind, our actions, our body, our speech, so that others may achieve the same level of peace described in the books, in the literature, described in the Gospels, described in the Bibles. So I just want everyone to reflect on that. What have you given? And hopefully that it changes your mind and views. Give. It also brings tears to my eyes. People who cannot afford medical care. And on the first floor of every hospital, there's the generosity side of it. And blessed are those who donated millions, my Lord, millions of dollars, in order for the poor to receive a new lung, kidney, plasma, blood transfusions to prolong their life. Those who donated here locally to St. Pete Free Clinic, of which we soon will utilize interdependent on other people's gifts in order to survive. We all can use that more and more each day, folks. We can use people to give kindness, give smiles, go out and volunteer, give. You give them so much to talk about at your funeral that the funeral stretches for 5 hours of teachings. Living teachings for all the people who are living. A guy who is dead has so much to teach to all who remains on earth. Ain't that something? I'll be damned. I always get a kick out of reading obituaries. Some things that these young Gen Zoomers don't get to do. You get a newspaper, you go all the way in the back of the newspaper, it says obituaries, all the people that's been dead, who have died over the past week, over the past month. In the obituary it says Mr. Robert something, Marianne something, and Everett something, Wanda, whatever, Jeffrey, Jacob, Martha. And it talks about their family, you know, a loving husband, a loving wife, a loving grandmother, a loving grandfather, a loving sister, a loving brother, survived by their mom, dad, siblings, so on. Graduated Harvard, graduated Johns Hopkins, graduated SPC, graduated Eckerd College, became a sales consultant, became a prominent attorney, became a prominent physician, built hospitals, donated to charities, volunteered at hospice for 21 years, volunteered at the sheriff's office for 15 years, volunteered as a firefighter. You know, one of our presidents, what was it? Let me recall my memory. I'm getting old. Thomas Jefferson. Oh, he was all these things. Oh my God. He was like a carpenter. He was in government. He was a volunteer firefighter. That's what got me, was the volunteer firefighter thing. I'm like, Thomas Jefferson, you were that bored? You had all these things going on, and yet you still went and ran into people's homes and put out fires. Are you kidding me? It's got to be Jefferson, according to my memory. I may be wrong. I've studied for 21 years. A lot of books, a lot of biographies I've read. So y'all gonna have to forgive me if I am wrong. But anyways, Thomas Jefferson, a biography to also read, right? Because they're like supermen. And then became president. Like, oh my God. When I grow up, I want to be just like him. It's too bad sometimes our world and our educational system don't shape us to be that creative, to go out and do more. The capability of who you are, your mind, your body, your speech, everything that you have to offer to the world. You have so much to offer. Damn it. Offer. Give it back to the world. When we look at, you know, I'm still alive, so here I am opening up for examination. You all can examine my life. I was a volunteer. I was a student, a son, former superintendent of a security company, an interpreter, all areas of law, medicine, front desk, receptionist, monk. What is there left to do? A lot. So go and explore the opportunity and live fully as a human. Live fully as a human. Give them something to talk about. Some of these obituaries are like literally this long. Takes up the whole paper. Takes up like one good column of a paper, and I'm like, damn it, George, that is one life to live. That is one hell of a life to live, and you've lived. It brings a smile to my face. I don't even know the guy, but I'm reading it to know him. And I realized that what a life well lived. A life well lived. Who can say that? Who can confidently and honestly say that? I have lived a life well lived. I have lived. What you don't want them to write about is he robbed 17 banks while he was alive, raped 13 people, committed 152 felonies, 75 of them additionally misdemeanors, went to every correctional facilities in Florida. Damn. Redeem. Redeem yourselves. Redeem yourselves. Give up. Give up for the holy life. If that was you. But this is home to me. The cemetery is home to me, and Novice Lee's probably, I'm easing him into it, liking it, conditioning him to like it. I mean, this is how you know your teacher has surpassed a certain stage in his life, where he's no longer afraid of his own death, where he could proudly declare, confidently declare that he has lived a life well lived so far. Supersede me, beat me. Your obituary need to be longer than mine. Your obituaries need to be longer than mine. Here is where we learn about the deathless state. Here is where we learn about samsara. As I read page for page in the biography of the Buddha, you know, the king was very heartbroken that Siddhartha has left. He wails, he moans, he cries. The ministers come to the Buddha and says, look, you done left. The king he's in pieces. Your father, Suddhodana, is in pieces waiting for you to come home. You're in here in the woods, cold, scary. How could you survive the winds? How could you survive the elements? Come home, please. The Buddha turned to the ministers and said, I appreciate you all hunting me down, and yet here we are. I understand the misery, pain, and sorrow that everyone is feeling by and through my absence and by and through my continuous absence. But it is even more painful and daunting and scary and pressing and imminent, such as birth, old age, disease, decay. And it is exactly that we come out here to replicate what the Buddha saw, what it means to him in his life, why he gave up everything, left his parents on purpose to seek liberation, inner peace, inner liberation, inner freedom, to experience the deathless state. And that I aim to replicate no matter how hard my life is and will be. I will give up everything like I have. Even when there's no more food to eat, I will come out here and lay here. I will lay here. I will lay here when all the money dries up. I will lay here when there's no more food to eat. I will lay here when people stop giving. I will lay here and die with Jacob. Sit in the same position, lay in the same position as the Buddha. Because by then it's already meant to be, right? Some things were just meant to be due to the causes and conditions of karma. It can't be any other way. It can't be any other way. What does that mean? Such as 40 years old, 50 years old, 20 years old, 10 years old, 60 years old. You got low back pain right now. Can it be any other way? It cannot be any other way. You are subject to birth, decay, old age, disease, and death. It can't be any other way. Said who? Ajancha Supato. It can't be any other way. But yeah, we want it to be a different way. We don't want to grow old. We don't want. I don't want to grow. I don't want pain. I don't want suffering. I don't want my husband. I don't want my wife. I don't want my car. I don't want Pokemon cards. I want my grass to be green. Why is it not green? It can't be any other way. Oh. In front of us are green bamboos, followed by tan-colored bamboos. Direct reminders of decay, direct reminders of impermanence, direct reminders of death. And talk about death, we get to experience death with a body walking up here. Tell the people when we walked up here what we observed. There's a dead body floating right behind us.
Yeah, when we walked up here, there's a little fountain behind us, and we're looking at the fountain, dirty water. And we so happened to see a squirrel floating there, deader than a doorknob. And he probably desired a nut that fell in there. Jumped in, but failed to see there was no way out, and then drowned.
Well, talk about a peaceful scenery until we saw that. And I looked at his body, is floating on the surface. I realized that your time has came. Your karma has ripened, my young one. And till the next rebirth you will take. A body that lies lifeless, floating, waiting to rot. The squirrel has the potential and likely chance to take favorable rebirth if that squirrel did not do harm while it was a squirrel. How it did not fight. Where's Bailey? No. Oh. Didn't fight, didn't bite other squirrels, it didn't kill other animals. What Novice Lee looks at right now, in front of us is all these there's so many bamboo trees, by the way. This is what Vietnam feels like. One day he will be there, November 9th he will be there. And Vietnam is full of bamboo trees, and you will sit and we connect our mind with this nature right here. Direct evidence, direct realization, direct teachings from Mother Nature, because she is always ready to teach us. She is always ready to teach us. If we keep our mind and body, soul, spirit, you name it, consciousness opens. Receive the teachings here alone in silence. Every squeak, she's teaching us. Every sight, every sound, every smell, she's teaching us. Novice Lee, 21 years old. Can be perhaps the youngest Arahant ever lived. Can be perhaps the youngest Arahant alive. Can be perhaps the Arahant the world is waiting for. But he must remind himself to study and practice come out here more often, to open the books, to write more notes, to tire your hands in writing notes, to tire your eyes in reading, to exhaust your body in studying, to exhaust your body in meditating. And he will experience the deathless state. Any student can surpass a teacher and become an arahant, and the teacher may not ever receive arahantship. God knows. So many stories in the scriptures. So let us conclude this so that we can return back to our studies that we had planned for today. Let us reflect on death, the meaning of death. Everything that I have said over the past hour with all of you. Each and every of you can rewrite the narrative and obituary. Matter of fact, my challenge for all of you, take out a piece of pen and paper after this talk, write your own obituary. Where are you at? If you were to die in the next hour, what would they say about you? Who are you? What have you done? What have you given? What have you taken? How many hearts have you broken? How many hearts have you glued back together? How much peace have you made with people? Have you made peace with yourself? How much peace have you given to your neighbors? At the end of Mass, what do they say in the church? By peace I leave you, and by peace I give you. George Bren, oh man, what's his last name? Steinbrenner? In Tampa, they have his field, his football field. Steinbrenner. His life, I'm pretty sure, was a good life. At some point, he was investigated by the FBI. Everything was well not founded. They erected the statue in his name because of all the good things that he has done. When I read the article, it said he gave so much to so many, and only those who benefited knew. He didn't make it visible that he did all these things, donated millions and millions to help the sick, the poor. Only those who benefited knew. My God, that's one hell of a sentence. To give in secret without seeking fame and glory. I think I kept the article. I think I wrote about it. Anytime when I'm touched by such article, I write about it. So let us reflect on giving. This is the month of giving. Every month should be giving. And as my programs have come to a suspension due to lack of giving, lack of generosity, lack of charity, lack of priority of charity, I ask those to reflect on the lives of young people at risk of suicide. Is exactly what this program aimed to do. To save kids from suicides, to give them hope, to give them light, something to look forward to. This program brings students across Tampa Bay area in participating in cemeteries, participating at aquariums, local zoos, local funeral homes. The funding is made for them to go and see the 4 sites the Buddha saw. The program is aimed at them to see the waters, anywhere with nature. Along the way, students need to eat. That's the last thing. That is the very least that they should be worried about, is food to eat. cognitive behavior therapy books that we need, backpacks, highlighters, the requisites to study, so that they can give back to society, because they know that people have reflected on the teachings on giving, dying, of death, of karma. Whatever goes around comes right back around to you. You do the most good in life, it comes back to you. Good life, a good death. Furthermore, when you give to this program, you get to sit back and watch it unfold. Go to my YouTube, right? Go to the TikTok, go to the Instagram. You get to see the smiling faces, growing, smiling, progressing. You get to see your money in action, how you donate and what that money does for these students, the smiles, the joy, and how they will forever remember the gifts the society has given them. A second chance, a second life, so that they be closer to enlightenment, to bring happiness to their family and to themselves, and to turn back around and teach your children that, their peers, their young siblings in their life, the importance of giving, the importance of self-sustainability, to realize interconnectedness, interdependent, dependent origination. Surround yourself with people who have given more and taken less in your life, and it feels like you're surrounded with arahants all around on this planet. When you have people with hearts of benevolence, hearts of charities, hearts of generosities, there's no suspicions. And all they talk about is how to give even more. Or they talk about how the many lives that they have influenced as a direct result of them giving. People in the Lions Club, Kiwanis, St. Jude, they all have stories. How they donated used prescription glasses in Uganda, and how people over there using all of these equipment, medical equipment, they can see. Blessed are those who can see. And here we are, can see, and so many overseas cannot see. To see the cross, to see Christ, to see bamboo trees, to see the American flag. Earlier we spoke, Novice Lee and I spoke about non-profit organizations. And I've been through so much in my life, sitting on boards. And I told Novice Lee, I really just want to surround myself with people who've given more and taken less in this world. Because that is a definitive statement. And it is definitive, right and just, to be around the rare and the few, the hearts of charity, the hearts of the generous, the hearts of the benevolence. To me, they're modern day arahants. I don't care what anybody else says about arahantship, because there are such so few that give. Therefore, I look forward to meeting those who have given over the past couple of days, wanting to meet there are ones who have given $1, but you see, the dollar to me means a million to me, because it is a million in emotional currency to you and to me. That's what it means. I don't discriminate if you donated $1 or $100. They're all the same They're all in the same pool of the pool of generosity, the pool of benevolence, the pool of charity. Not the pool. Bailey, be nice. No, no. Come, come. Not the pool of greed, not the pool of anger, not the pool of ignorance. And that everyone should surround themselves with. Always. Is it the rare few? It is the rare few that we seek. It is the rare few that we will seek to chill with. And no matter how lonely life gets, never surround yourself with fools. No matter how uneventful life is, never surround yourself with fools. No matter how unentertaining your life is, never surround yourself with fools. You seek the wise, you sit and you chill with them. Thus you will become the wise through time. And even if there is one person left on this planet, and if they are a fool, I'll be damned if I chill with them. If the world comes to an end and there's one fool left standing, I am not standing with him. Two statements the Buddha said about that. Do you remember them, Novice Lee?
I'd rather walk alone than with fools.
What's the other one? We gotta say it louder because we got wind in the background.
So I'd rather walk alone than with a fool.
And I'd rather walk alone because not everyone,
everybody understands.
not everybody lasts forever.
Yes. Not everybody lasts forever. I'd rather walk alone than with a fool. And not everybody will last forever. Very true.
Next time, folks, darn it, I had foldable tables and chairs. Next time, we're coming out here and we're gonna record, and y'all just gonna see us sit and just study. We ain't got we got chairs, we ain't got no tables. And doing this is gonna have back pain. So we need to buy some, we don't need to buy it. I think we just need one more chair. There's one more chair we need to get. I already have one. I need another one. Have some type of back support, like 20 bucks. But this is really conducive for studying and practice. Let the wind, huh? Feel good, huh? Not what you expect on a hot, sunny Florida day. So let us conclude this talk so that we can progress through our day. And may you all reflect on this teaching, this moment with us across the world. Never tired of giving. Never tired of giving. And give and sit back and watch people grow, smile. It's one of the greatest joy ever, just to sit back and just watch people grow, students grow and smile. We fix problems, is what we do. When there's adolescent problems, when there's problems in society, we fix them. We fix it once and for all. We trace the root cause of the problem. We get in there like surgeons. We fix it once and for all. Living, smiling, and growing. Let us conclude today. You all visit the link tree to make a difference wherever you can and however you can. I'd like to conclude this talk with the chant on impermanence for Jacob Hall. And the chant means that All things in life are due to causes and conditions. All things in life are impermanent. There is suffering, the existence of suffering in all these things in life. All things conditioned are impermanent. Them coming to cease is bliss. Them coming to cease is bliss. Cancer patients, people who have died, people who have suffered, people who have overdosed. Them coming to cease to live, cease, coming to a stop is bliss because they no longer suffer. Also known as the Anicca Vata Sankara chant. Anicca Vata Sankara Obdavaya Dhammino Pachitava Nirochanti Te Sangho Vasamo Sukho. Anicca Vata Sankara Upadavaya Dhammino Pachitva Nirochanti Te Sangho Vasamo Sukho. Anicca Vata Sankara Upadavaya Dhammino Pachitva Nirochanti Te Sangho Vasamo Sukho. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you all for joining, and hopefully tonight we can do some more live and engage with members of TikTok. Some closing remarks. The Trova trip on my link tree, the trip to Vietnam. The cost for that trip is now $1,800, not $2,300. That's $500 off. We change by seeing, and you have to go places to see, and how it will move your heart to change. So therefore, all of you who have been keeping an eyeball on the Vietnam trip on my link tree, I would invite you all to look at the itinerary. November 9th is the departure date, and now is a good time to reserve your spot. It only takes $400 to reserve your spot for the Trova trip, and you can gradually make payments towards that in August. We still have a ways to go, 5 months to go. So again, these are some public announcements for all of you. And until the very next time, hopefully tonight, we reconvene again. There is no Sunday service tomorrow at Blissful Beginnings, so we will do a digital version of that due to commitments that we have made. And in an effort of that commitment to further the cognitive behavioral therapy program for teen suicides. So again, everything will be done digitally, and we will reconvene in person at Blissful Beginnings next Sunday. May you all be well, be happy, be free, and always be healthy. Take care.